Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle video tutorial on Photoshop and defining brushes from gradients. So I've just created some gradients here. To define them as a brush, simply just go to Edit and Define Brush Preset. So what happens, just there you get a little thumbnail there and you've got a name. Give it a better name than that, but then click OK. As soon as it's done, you can go over to your brushes, which you can find in Window and Brushes. And brush settings you can see there as well, but there's the brush stored away over there, and then you can use it. Simply just go to the brush tool and just apply it like that. Obviously you can tweak it and vary it, and I'm going to do that later. So let's just remove those. How to start? Well, one of the first ones to do, I'm just going to go with their elliptical marquee tool. So just select that, and you've got that selection. What you can do then, go to the gradient, and you can then just click there and you can see your gradient, the whole range. You've got loads and loads of gradients. The key thing, however, in this, it's grayscale. Obviously you've got colours here, doesn't matter. So it's just, but you can, if you want to, be very precise about it, you can always change it like that. You can go through grayscale, make that grey, and so on and so on. However, I would leave it as the colours, because what you can do later is you can use image adjustments and black and white, and you can create a variety of different brushes from the same gradient. So click there and then just simply apply. And I'm using radial and normal. You don't have to. You can of course go for different and create a variety of different more abstract designs, something like this. So you can see create all kinds of weird and wonderful designs, edit and define brush preset. But also, and that's of course saved as a grayscale. But you can also work around the default image and go down to adjustments, helps, then go down to black and white, and you can see then you've got your black and white. And that's what the brushes are going to use. But you can change that. So you can go like that and you think, you know what, I prefer more white around there, or maybe tweak these things, and you can range, click OK, and you can define that. So edit and again define brush preset. Click OK, or maybe give it a better name than that again. And you can, once you've done that, let's just deselect, you can go and play a brush. So there's the brush, and you can see the brush like that. And you can go to brush settings and change all the spacing, the various other things as well. And I will do that later on. So let's just go back. Right to, you can also use transparency within the gradient. So go over here to the gradient tool, and then click up here again to the gradient editor. And then the key thing is this end, the left side, make certain the left side has got 0%. You don't have to, but I find it easy to work with that. So 0% and all the way along, and set that to, oh, that doesn't need to be 80%, 100%. And again, you've got basic same gradients, but you've got transparency there. And then, so the gradient doesn't go further out from that thing, so you can control it a bit easier. So click OK, and then so you can see what happens. You've got your design there. Oh, I'm using different, so that's why the colours are odd. So you've got your, now that is the limit. That's because of the transparency. You've just got it defined in that little area there without having to use selections. You could use selections, of course, but it's just easier and quicker just to use. Now you can add it a number of times, and that's because it doesn't overlap. Doesn't overlap the other design. Obviously you can draw it on top of it, perfectly reasonable as well. You can also change if you want. You can change different and just go for a different blending mode and create different designs like that. So you can create different, however, I'm not going to do that. You can now another thing I always think is just go down there and zoom in a bit. Because what I want to do is I want to add some small gradients around there. Oops. Whole variety of different designs there, and then maybe just see. Go to the alt, and you can obviously just vary that. Well, once you've defined that, you can just go to Edit and Define Brush Preset. So you can save it as a brush preset. Now you don't have to have any selections or anything. So Edit, Define Brush Preset, and there you've got your design. Again, give it a different name if you want. Click OK. And again, you can see then, you just go over here, select that. I'm just going to go to the brush tool. And again, I can apply my brush. And you can see if I just apply it, just dabs like that, your brush design there. What you can also do, let's just remove all those. Super useful, brush settings. Right, just go over here to brush settings, window and brush settings. You can modify the various settings here. You can change the spacing so you can make it. Now, I often just go onto the document. Very rarely use this because I just find it doesn't seem to match the end result personally. And maybe it does, but I just find it easier on this massive more scale to see what result's going to be. But you also just going to reduce the size down a bit as well. Go to shape dynamics, you can change the size jitter. You can also change the angle jitter so they all sort of twist and turn. You can also maybe add some scattering. So just scatter it up that way. And also, if you want, colour dynamics. So you've got hue jitter, and I'm just going to change the colour here. So maybe go for a pink there. And once you've done that, you've got hue jitter there. Now, apply per tip. So every time you apply it, so just apply it, and you can see that changes all the way along. So you get blue, sky blue, brown, etc. If I deselect that, it doesn't apply it per tip, it just applies it all the same until I release, and then apply another time, it's pink. Or if I apply it another time, it's red, and so on and so on. So you can vary that a number of ways. So I'm just going to put that on. So that's it. Creating a quick brush, and of course you can tweak it even more. However, before I finish, you can also save that. Be very useful. New brush preset, and then you've got sample brush there, and you'll notice it adds a 1 on the end. You can again give it a slightly more interesting name, color design, and include tool settings, includes color, so you've got that color there. Click OK. Then go to brushes again. You can see you've got a little brush just down there, little paint there, which is that. And you've got the little pink, the colour there. So if you go over here and you just want a different one, so let's just go to a yellow. So I've got yellow now. I can now go to back over here again, and new brush preset. This time, yellow. Click OK. And you can see now you've got a little brush tool with yellow. If you want to save it and store it away with that. Again, of course, because you've got the colour settings, it doesn't particularly matter too much about whether it's yellow, red or anything else. I just want to show you, you can vary that there. So gradients, I think, are an absolutely superb source. And I've been using, in this case, I've been using radial, but you can use linear, you can use diamond. That's quite a nice one as well. So you've got this design, so you can simply go over here and you've got the diamond one. So this one's quite nice, and simply just drag that out. Or hold down the shift and make a square. So you can make little squares, very similar sort of thing as before. And you can, of course, you can overlap. No reason why you can't overlap. It's actually a pity that the tool doesn't offer the options like when you apply the gradient, an option to create a new layer each time. Obviously you can do that. You can always just go up to layer and new layer. But it would be nice if it automatically added each and every time to a new layer. And then, of course, if it's a new layer, what you can do, and I'm just going to quickly do that, layer, and new layer. You go there, you can just create that new gradient, and then you can always go to layer, layer style, bevel and emboss. And you can quickly add that and drop shadow. And of course, what you can then do, of course, is you can hold down the Alt Option key and duplicate, create that. Resize, rotate if you want, and apply effects and all those sort of things. Once you've done that, I'm just going to flatten the entire image, and again, edit and define brush preset. So you've got your brush preset there. Also, again, of course, what you can do, image adjustments, and you can go to black and white, and you can then tweak this design. So maybe you want darker there or lighter. Go to that, and you can define that as a brush preset. Edit and define brush preset. And of course, not only that, you can always go to filter and maybe apply various effects, such as oil paint, so you combine the gradient design. Well, that's very strange. Lighting is on. Very rarely have light. Very odd. Just had a new update to Photoshop, so clearly it's just decided, for some reason, I really always find that odd, that it updates again things, puts it back to who knows. Right, so you can apply obviously some filters, oil paint to make it sort of like very blurry, smeary sort of design. And then you can go and quickly define that as a brush preset. So you can always go and add that, call it smeared. And of course, once you've done that, you can apply your brush stroke and you can see your design there. And again, you can go over here to the brush settings and tweak this to your heart's content in terms of spacing, size, as well as colour dynamics, scattering, shape dynamics, etc. Again, just change that colour, maybe go for black, so you can see it a little bit better. And you've got that sort of oozy design there. And that's literally, gradients are a great source for all kinds of different brush designs. And of course, I've started with just this, but you could easily be a whole range of other designs than this. Polygon designs, shape designs, star designs. You can create all kinds of different designs using gradients with combinations of various selections, shapes, etc. So I think gradients are a great resource for all kinds of brush designs, as well as obviously thousands of other things as well. Well, I hope you found this tutorial of interest. Always adding new tutorials all the time about Photoshop, Illustrator and many other applications. Also, if you've got any comments, any questions, things that I didn't explain very well, quite possible, or maybe ideas, things that you use gradients for, always please put some comments, always appreciated. Also a dislike or like. Also, please check out the Graphicxtras website. Got loads of tutorials on there, lots of graphics, gradient ones, brushes, and all those sort of things, all on there. With, in some cases, a lot more information than sometimes I put in videos, because quite often when I do these, I always remember something afterwards. So quite often I put in my tutorials online, I put all the various things that I haven't added into this. Thank you much.